Hi, Hugh Taylor here, coming to you today with a topic that honestly I would not have expected to be talking about even as recently as 6 months ago, but the time is now. Artificial intelligence, AI, is on everybody's minds, and for good reason. And we're going to talk about something that I also really am not that happy about, but it's just reality, which is how good is AI at writing press releases? Really, how good is it? And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of artificial intelligence and PR. So first, a little overview. When people talk about AI today in the context of writing, they're talking about what's called generative AI, which is artificial intelligence software that can actually create something that didn't exist before, like writing or a work of art or a photograph. It's a new sort of extension of the AI concept. AI has been around for many years, actually. People don't realize that. And it's active in computer systems all over the place. We don't even see it. Various transactional things and IT operations, cybersecurity, AI is all over the place. But this is a new advance, really quite an amazing leap forward in a technology that had been showing some promise, but now it's really coming into its own. These are called large language models. These are software programs that can create quite convincing and detailed human-like writing based on prompts, which is like the information you feed into it. And the results are impressive, I will say. And I'm a professional press release writer. I'm in the business of writing press releases. I will tell you the results are pretty impressive, but they are still mostly lacking in the PR impact you probably want. And I'm going to talk about what that means in a minute. And that said, I think there are ways to leverage AI for efficient PR processes. So what we did was we tested a free AI press release generator. In this case, it was the one offered by EIM Presswire, which is our distribution service. So we were happy to work with their press release generator. And one thing I want to make a note of, though, this software that they use, and I don't know what it is, but it's something I think that they either created or bought or whatever, is designed to write press releases. It's been very sort of customized. And I haven't tested this, but it's probably better at writing a press release than a general purpose generative AI program like ChatGPT. It puts your input into a specific template. So I want to just show you just very briefly what this looks like. So here's the interface. It's empresswire.com/generator. You type in your prompt here up to 400 characters. That's all you do. You just tell it the information that you want, and it generates the press release from there. It takes about a minute, which is pretty interesting and kind of scary if you're in my business. But this is the input text, and this, just to be clear, this is what we got from our client. We're showing you a press release that we wrote, and then we created an AI version of it so that you could see side by side what these two things look like. So we got this input from the client. This is initially all they gave us. Future Collective is a youth culture creative marketing agency based in Tokyo, Japan, and Honolulu, Hawaii, specializing in Gen Z and millennial brand content. Then they said in February 2023, Future Collective announced an exclusive campaign in partnership with the world's hottest social media app, slated for spring-summer 2023. So how AI works, now, I don't know exactly how this works, but I'm guessing based on what it did, is the software is designed to look for certain phrases. So in this case, the software figured out that Future Collective is the newsmaker. This verb they keyed in on is the sort of description. When someone is something, this is who they are. And then the software also, and you have to kind of think, this is sort of amazing that the software can figure this out. They keyed on this word announced. This is where they figured out what the news was. Okay? And from that, From that, they created this press release. When I say they, I mean the software, in about a minute, came back with this 280-word press release. So this is the headline they came up with: Future Collective and social media app partner for upcoming campaign. That is accurate. It's a little vague, but it's accurate. And they have a lead paragraph. And this, I think what is happening here, I'm just making a guess, is that the software plugs in certain phrases it's pulled out of the input text into a language template, into a press release template, which, to be honest, is kind of how press release writer works too. We take your inputs and we there's a certain flow of the way a press release works. In the lead paragraph, somebody is announcing something, right? So Future Collective, a youth culture creative market agency with locations in Tokyo, Japan, and Honolulu, Hawaii. So we know they got that directly from the text, has announced, right? They got this from the second part of the input text: an exclusive campaign in partnership with the world's hottest social media app. Okay, so far so good. The lead then concludes with this detail: the campaign is slated for spring/summer 23 and will focus on Gen Z and millennial brand content. This lead paragraph is completely accurate based on the input text. And I will tell you, if you're not impressed, you should be. It's pretty incredible that a software program can do this on the fly based on the data that you give them. Now, they generate a quote. We're thrilled to be partnering with such a cutting-edge popular platform, said Future Collective CEO and founder Hikari Yokoyama. Now, this is something that they found, and this is another thing that's going on here. The software, and I'm just guessing here, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct, goes out to the internet and finds more information about this company. And what they probably did was they went to the website of this agency, and they probably extracted information from this website, because how else would they know the name of the CEO of this company? So this is another fascinating integration of technology that's going on behind the scenes. And they then are able to put it into a quote. Now this press release starts to do something that is understandable, but is something that you really have to be careful about. They're sort of spinning, and I honestly don't know how they do this. And this is like, software magic to me, but somehow they have some patterns of language that they can pull on. They generate something about this app, which is known for innovative features and become quickly favored among Gen Z and millennials. It's kind of vague. It sounds okay, but it's kind of generic. The app's popularity has been driven in part by its focus on user-generated content and its ability to connect people from all over the world. Okay, and then they have a quote, and this is where it starts to get to me a little strange and something you have to be careful about. It says, our partnership with Future Collective is a natural fit, said social media app CEO and founder John Smith. That name sounds kind of generic, right? Because it is. This is completely made up. Okay? Their team has a deep understanding of youth culture and knows how to create engaging content that speaks to the audience. So we look forward to working with them. Now, as a press release writer, I'm going to tell you something. I have to give this software creator some credit. This is how we create quotes too, right? There's a certain pattern to a press release quote. You sort of acknowledge, in the case of a partnership, we acknowledge that the good fit. You almost see like a branching tree software, process, meaning like if it's a partnership announcement, you use this kind of quote, you sort of slot in certain phrases. We look forward to this and so forth. Then it says the campaign will launch in spring/summer 2023 and will include a mix of digital, social. More details will be announced closer to the launch date. So, this is what you've got. Now, considering this cost nothing and took 1 minute to create, I have to say, it's pretty cool, right? I'm impressed. But the question is, should you use this in its raw state? And I would say no. Okay, there's some problems here. Okay, it's a little flat language-wise, and it contains some completely invented content. Okay, so if you went to press right away with what that computer spit out, you'd be, I would say, in some trouble. Okay, so let's show you what we wrote. Okay, now maybe this isn't really fair because we had an opportunity to do something that the computer couldn't, which was to ask the client some follow-up questions, like who are you actually partnering with, and when is this event actually taking place, and so forth. Okay, so maybe that's not fair, but we're human beings and we can do what human beings can do. Now, maybe 6 months from now, the AI generator will have all kinds of follow-up question capabilities too. I mean, I think to be honest about it, you have to see where the technology is going. If you look at how far it's come so quickly, you have to imagine that it will soon be able to do some of the things that we can do. So we got a lot more detail out of them, that they were partnering with TikTok Japan, that's the app they were partnering with, and that the event had a specific name and date. It was the Lokahi Hawaii influencer marketing campaign from July 28th to August 11th. Okay. Now, why does that matter? Well, because you're making a press release, a news announcement. You have to be, if you can be more specific, like reporters want to know, where is this? When is it? What is it called? Who are you actually partnering with? And one thing that we as human beings can currently do is we can identify counterproductive hype. Now, I'm sure TikTok Japan is very popular, but is it the world's hottest social media app? I don't think so, right? And that's the kind of hype that reporters don't really like. Okay. Now, what's interesting is our lead paragraph is really not that different from the one that came up from the AI, right? So, and then we have a quote from from a different person, someone who actually commissioned the press release, who is an employee of this agency. Okay, and then we asked them for more details, and of course here we have a lot more information. They're going to have dinner at the Ruth Chris Steakhouse and so forth. We have more information about a contest they're going to have, and that the winners of the prizes, the influencers who win the prizes, will receive all these things like the 3-night stay in a hotel, airfare, VIP lunch, and so forth. And this is the press release that we wrote, which is, if I can say, a little more accurate, a little richer in detail, and a little more effective from a PR perspective. Okay, so that's the press release that I would go with. Now, of course, I was paid to write it, so I'm saying that. But I think hopefully if you've been watching, you can sort of see that the result from human beings is better or more effective. So some takeaways from this is that AI can definitely be a tool for PR. I mean, that's really clear. It might be good for generating like rough drafts, sort of getting a press release kind of going, a draft to send around the office. My suggestion is it should not be used unattended. I do not think at this point it is wise to just take the output of the computer and just, put it on the wire like it's your news. You should edit and correct the output. Okay, and I have clients now who are starting to switch to AI. This is a reality for me. But they are telling me that they are editing it as it comes out. So you have to correct the output, first of all, for accuracy, but also to align with your PR messaging strategy. And the question I ask is, do you have the time and skills to do that? Now, some people do and some people don't. So that's something to think about. You might think, oh, cool, this is for free. Well, it's not for free. If you have to spend an hour editing something, that's not free. Okay? Maybe let someone like us write it, and then you can save yourself the hour. Okay? That's just a thought, but hopefully you've learned something about AI and PR. In the meantime, if we can help you, You can learn more about PR from our free ebook, Stop Being Invisible. There's a link in the description below. And by the way, there's links to the press releases drafts that we showed in the links below. And if we can help you, come see us at commsfactory.net. We'd love to work with you.